I remember being in Sunday school discussing what the fear of the Lord is. I was taught that it was respect and reverence because He is our King.
Hail to the King, baby.
Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers, BionicDance here. And yes, once again, it's YouTuber K Cortez 3 up to bat. And he wants to tell us why we should be afraid of God. Take a look.
What is fear of the Lord? For me, is realizing how small and weak we are compared to Him, how powerless we are to go against Him.
Oh Lord, oh, you are so big. Forgive us, O Lord, for this our dreadful toadying.
One thing I don't think I'll ever sufficiently understand is why so many Christians, Jews, and Muslims seem to think that being small and pathetic before God is a good thing. Oh, they don't explicitly say it necessarily, but they're always saying things like you have to humble yourself before God. You never hear anyone saying, gosh, I wish I were bigger, more important, or more powerful. So why is that?
There is respect and reverence in admiring and acknowledging someone's superiority over you, but that doesn't mean there isn't actual fear in there.
You know, respect and reverence coupled with fear does not sound like a healthy relationship.
I hear a lot of Christians nowadays, well, I'm just gonna tell him the good news. Reward is a far better motivator than fear.
Actually, it's entirely possible that fear is a better motivator. But what's more important, terrified obedience or genuine loyalty?
Well, God thought it was necessary for us to have both, and it's foolish to ignore the not so nice part. We're to be motivated by fear to walk a straight path towards holiness.
You mean your religion's version of holiness. In fact, that fear is there to keep us from joining some other religion or some other denomination of your religion, or no religion at all. And most of those religions have the same fear built right into them. So which one are we supposed to join?
Look at it this way. You realize a very well-respected police officer is nearby, and while he's tall and strong, and so you feel like you need to be on your best behavior because, well, it's very intimidating. He sees this fear, and so he starts getting close to you, and soon enough you become really good friends.
I don't know how many police officers you've been hanging out with, but I've made friends with very, very few. I also don't need a cop around to not break the law. A police presence is not required for me to not be an asshole.
That intimidation was the start. Had you acted foolishly when you saw him, he would have approached you, but as an officer of the law, not a friend. But now that you're friends, that same fear isn't there. There is instead love and trust, but there is a level of fear that never leaves.
Why should fear be the motivator? What about empathy? What about giving a shit about other people? Isn't that enough of a motivator? Fear should not be required, and the fact that religious people seem to think that it is makes me wonder what's going on inside your heads. In fact, fear is probably why religion was invented in the first place. Fear of the unknown and an attempt to explain it. Fear of other people and using fear to keep their behavior in line.
One of my ancestors, some weakling, said, look, there's no way I can beat that guy. But what if I trick him into thinking that if he doesn't kill and rape people while he's down here, when he dies, there's a magic city in the clouds, and he can go up and have all the cake he wants. Now, that's not a very well-formed plan, but he went and told the big psycho, and the psycho heard that and said, yeah, I like cake. Boom! There you go. That was the beginning of civilization.
Well, God isn't just that officer, He is also the judge, and He can have mercy on whom He pleases. And who does He choose to give His mercy to? Luke 1:50. And His mercy is for those who fear Him from generation to generation.
Police officer, judge, jury, and executioner? This doesn't sound like a relationship. It sounds like a dictatorship.
Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish, where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
Praise and fear the ruler, huh? Your God sounds more like the leader of a celestial North Korea.
Hebrews 12:6. For the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child.
Which, frankly, sounds like an abusive and codependent relationship. Codependency is defined as a psychological condition or a relationship in which one person is controlled or manipulated by another who is affected with a pathological condition, typically narcissism or drug addiction. Codependency may also be characterized by denial or low self-esteem, excessive compliance, or control patterns. Sound familiar to anyone else?
When you were a kid, you would often stop yourself from doing certain things out of fear of the discipline and punishment that would follow from your parents.
Well, like I said before, some people would stop themselves from doing those things because they knew other people wouldn't appreciate it. But all right, let's suppose we were motivated by fear. You know what's different about our parents versus God? First, our parents were right there to tell us the rules. We didn't have to get them from some ancient book, the truth of which we could not verify. Second, we knew the punishment was real. It happened right away, not after we died. And third, we knew the punishment would end. It didn't last for eternity the way religion promises. I don't know about you, but those are some damn critical differences in my world.
The times you didn't were because you either thought they wouldn't find out or you thought the gain was greater than the consequences. But trust me, God always finds out.
Well, isn't that convenient?
There is no need to be afraid because God loves you. But fear the life you choose if you decide to live a life without that love.
That's not loving. That's psychotic. That's the kind of thing that makes me say that if God was real, I'd be looking for a way to kill the fucker. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please, think.